Hey guys, it's Heath Manning of manningcues. This video is going to be on ghost rail kicking. This system is different from the other kick shot videos I've produced. This one uses a ghost ball for aiming, and is particularly valuable when your cue ball and object ball are not far apart, and when your cue ball and object ball are not parallel on the table. So right now they're parallel on the rail, so this would be an easy shot to measure. It's just half the distance between on the rail across with no spin and a light stroke. When your 8-ball, say we have our object ball here, the 8-ball, and we have a cue ball here, we're still relatively close to one another. Say that we're blocked from hitting that, okay, so we have to kick off of this rail. An easy way to measure that, that's fairly reliable, that you're normally going to get a hit, some of the time you're going to make the shot. The system works like this. What you have to do is you have to imagine your cue ball hitting the 8-ball right here. If you can imagine the cue ball hitting that 8-ball right there, basically in practice what I want you guys to do is just take a imaginary cue ball, if you have one, and place it right where you want to contact the 8, as if you were shooting and making that ball. You want to place it right there. So we've got our cue ball right where we actually want to make contact. Now what we have to do is we have to put a parallel line through the imaginary cue ball, the ghost ball. So we put an imaginary line right through that across the table. And when we do that, basically contacting right here. Okay? That's straight through the ball. Now, I'm not going through the 8-ball, that's not where I'm aiming. I'm aiming through the ghost cue ball. If my balls were out here like this, then I would be aiming through my cue ball here, even though the 8 is over here. So, for this shot, we're here. That's where I want my cue ball to be. This is where the parallel line comes through my cue ball. What I have to do then is I have to figure out the distance between my cue ball and where I want my cue ball to be, where the ghost ball is. I want to know where half of that distance is. Not the distance between the 8-ball and the cue ball, the ghost ball and the cue ball. So that's about the halfway mark between the cue ball and right on that line, okay? That's how you measure this. I've got my tip of my cue over there on the parallel line through the cue ball, which is equal on that side of the table and here. I then pivot my cue halfway between where I want my cue ball to be and where my cue ball is. Okay, which is about right there. Okay, now all I have to do is on that angle shift my stick over my cue ball, and that gives me my natural angle with no spin and a light stroke. So if I take my imaginary ball away and I have my contact point right there, when I shoot this with no spin, I should come back and make contact, if not make my ball. A light stroke just above center, no spin. Okay, made my hit, didn't make my shot. Now, let's try that again. Let's have the cue ball off of, let's have the 8-ball off of the rail. Let's have my hook set up again. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to imagine my ball, my ghost ball, being here again. Now, I don't want my ball right there. I'm not aiming for that 8 to sink right here. I want that to be in the pocket. So I'm going to move that cue ball over to where I want it to be to sink the shot. Okay, that's where I want it to be. So, same thing happens through my ghost ball, not the object ball, so not the 8-ball. So that's my contact point right about there. So I can place a piece of chalk right here. Now, from there, I'm going to take my distance between my ghost ball and my actual cue ball, which is about right here. half the distance. Now you'll just have to measure this. You'll get good at it, but you'll just have to measure it. Now I'm just going to shift over. Oh, I lost my angle. Lift your cue up, shift over on that angle over the ball. Now I've got my contact point. So now I know exactly where I want to hit, and I'm just going to do the same stroke, just above center and a light stroke. And I make my hit. Now I missed the exact target, but I was very close to making that shot. Just a few degrees off and that would have been in, just slightly over. But that just comes down to you measuring here. I could have been just slightly off. And you're going to be slightly off, but this drill is to make you hit the ball. As you practice this drill, you will get better. It's not always about making it, but you didn't foul. Now, the last shot I'm going to show you with this system is if you need to incorporate spin. Got a ball here, got a ball here. Let's set this back up. Okay, everything's off the table. Now, if I come through my ball, like I did last time, through where I want my ghost ball to be, this is where I want my ghost ball to be, we know that that's right there because we just measured that. Okay, so that's where I want to be. Now, if I come to my halfway distance, now let's just move that so they're not parallel. If I come to my halfway distance between these two, so there's my line between them, right? Halfway distance is about there, on that line. So I know that to be here, okay? So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to parallel shift over. Now I parallel shift over, and there's my contact point. So let me put a piece of chalk over here where my contact point is. Now, let's throw in another wrench. Let's throw in another ball that gets me in the way. I don't have that contact point. Okay? So I have my parallel line through my ghost ball. I've measured my angle to be right here. I've parallel shifted over my cue ball to be right here. Okay, now that's in the way. Now, if that's in the way right there, I have to either go to the left or right of the ball blocking me, which is the 14 ball. It's always easier to use forward spin, so in this case would be left. If I come over here after you've right spin and try to hold it back, and that's a much tougher shot. So if I'm here, if I come back a half a diamond this way, that's a full diamond of travel on this side, so I'm going to add one tip of left English on my ball. So I'm going to aim here with one tip of left English, above center, left English, and a light stroke. Let me move that ball out of the way. So I'm lined up. I'm up above center. I've got one tip of English, and I stroke the ball. I compensated for the ball in my way. I came back a half a diamond here. Half a diamond on the short rail equals a diamond on the long rail. If you haven't watched my kick shot videos on the half table, watch that one because that'll make that make sense. So that's how you use spin if you need to. And that system will definitely help you get out of some hard kick shots that you don't have a diamond on this side of the table to measure to because your object ball is on the end rail. If you have any questions about this video, please give me a comment. Please subscribe to my channel and you'll get an update as videos come out. And if you'd like to see any videos on any particular topic, please let me know. You can visit me at www.manningcues.com. There's a spot there you can send me a message. I also sell all billiard equipment from all the leading manufacturers, so please let me know what you think, guys. Thanks.